Hey there, what's up? Tired of feeling lost when you try to understand what native English speakers are saying? Think watching movies with subtitles is the solution, but feel like your listening comprehension isn't taking off? Listen up, maybe you're making a deadly mistake that's stopping you from really understanding English. You know that feeling of understanding everything when you read, but when it comes to listening, you freeze? Well, subtitles might be the villain in this story. Don't worry, don't despair. In today's video, I'm going to show you why this visual crutch is sabotaging your listening and how you can finally unlock your auditory comprehension. Get ready for a transformation. Come with me and I'll reveal the secrets that will really boost your English. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any valuable tips from Learn English Secrets, because here we uncover the secrets that no one tells you. So, let's go! The movie myth. We grow up hearing that this is the magic formula, right? Oh, just sit on the couch, relax, and binge watch some series and the English will seep in through osmosis. Sounds too good to be true, and guess what? It is. The problem is that this practice actually strengthens your reading much more than your listening comprehension. And then you see, right? You become great at reading English, but you still don't get it when someone sends you an audio or talks to you in person. The tip of watching movies with subtitles seems harmless, even too simple, but it hides a huge problem when it comes to training your ear. We cling to the ease that the text offers because, let's face it, it's much easier to read than to pay attention to each sound, each intonation. But by doing this, you prevent your brain from really concentrating on the dynamics of the audio, on the nuances of the spoken language. It's like putting a crutch on your ear. Subtitles work like a crutch, an extra support that prevents you from exercising your auditory muscles for real. You trust the text so much that you forget to pay attention to the sounds, the rhythm of speech. And then when you come across real English, the one spoken on the streets, in movies without subtitles, you feel lost, as if you were hearing another language. This mistaken view, unfortunately, affects many people who are genuinely seeking to evolve in English. And the worst thing is that with this foundation, we don't even realize how subtitles end up diverting the focus from what really matters, the sound. The film becomes a passive activity, where you only follow the story but don't bother to understand the English that is being spoken. It's like going to the gym and just watching others work out. You're even there, but you're not doing anything to strengthen your muscles. So, if you really want to improve your listening, get ready to rethink this strategy of movies with subtitles. The beginning of auditory fluency starts with the courage to take off the training wheels and venture into the world of sounds. Subs affect the ear. Speaking of shaken beliefs, get ready for another dose of reality. You know why subtitles hinder your listening so much? It's simple. Your brain is smart. It will always choose the easiest path. And when you put subtitles, it gives you two options: read or listen. Guess which one it will choose? Exactly! Reading! After all, it's much faster and clearer to read than to struggle to decipher the sounds. Subtitles provide a shortcut, an expressway for written comprehension. It's like you're driving on a beautiful road with incredible landscapes, but decide to take a tunnel just to get to the destination faster. You save time, but you lose all the beauty of the route. In learning English, this tunnel prevents you from savoring every sound detail, every intonation, every accent. And the worst thing is that this practice creates a dependence. You get so used to the help of subtitles that without them, you feel completely lost. It's like a caffeine addict who can't function without their daily dose. Without complete auditory stimulation, your active listening doesn't develop properly. You may even understand some loose words, but you can't follow the flow of the conversation, the melody of the language. The ease of the text diminishes your attention to sound details. The clarity of writing overrides the natural complexity of speech. It's as if you were trying to listen to music in a noisy environment. The ambient sound muffles the melody, and you end up losing the richness of the details. In English, the subtitle is that noise that prevents you from tuning your ear and capturing all the nuances of the language. This choice of the brain interrupts the exercise needed for you to really master listening. That's why understanding the difference between hearing and listening becomes so important. Hearing is passive. It's like the background noise that you don't even pay attention to. Listening, on the other hand, is active. It's when you concentrate and make an effort to understand what is being said. So, which one have you been practicing? And speaking of practicing, what is your biggest difficulty when trying to understand spoken English? Have you tried any different techniques to boost your listening? Tell us in the comments. Who knows? Your experience might help other students overcome their challenges. Hearing versus listening. Since we're talking about hearing and listening, let's make this difference very clear because it's fundamental for those who really want to master English. Hearing is simply capturing the sounds, passively. It's like the noise of traffic, the music playing on the radio, the small talk of the neighbor. You hear, but you don't pay attention. You don't make an effort to understand. Listening, on the other hand, is an active process, which involves concentration, attention, and interpretation. It's when you dedicate yourself to understanding the nuances of the audio, the tone of voice, the emotions behind the words. The difference lies in the intention. Hearing happens automatically, while listening requires effort, focus, and presence. And it is this effort that will help you to really understand and absorb the language. Think of a practical example. You have the radio on while you do other things. You hear the news, the songs, the commercials, but you're not really paying attention. Now, imagine that you need to understand an important news item for your work. You turn off the radio, concentrate, and listen carefully to every word. Did you see the difference? The practice of listening requires focus and presence, removing all distractions from the environment. This distinction is essential for those who want to improve their English. Differentiating hearing from listening helps you to better direct your auditory training. Instead of simply turning on a podcast in English and letting it roll, you dedicate yourself to actively listening, paying attention to every detail, noting new words, repeating the phrases. It's like an athlete who trains each movement to improve their performance. This understanding opens the way for you to recognize the limitations of conventional methods, such as watching movies with subtitles. You realize that this practice doesn't perform the listening training effectively because it prevents you from concentrating on the audio and making an effort to understand. It's like trying to learn to swim without getting into the water. You can read all the books about swimming, watch all the videos, but you'll only learn for real when you jump into the pool and start practicing. So, how about starting to swim in the sea of English right now? Movies don't work. So, are you ready for another reality check? If you still think that watching movies with subtitles is the best way to improve your listening, get ready to change your mind. The truth is that this practice doesn't promote the focus on audio, which is fundamental for the development of your auditory skills. By depending on the text, you simply neglect the training of your auditory muscles. Your brain, as we've said, seeks the path of least resistance and ends up prioritizing readability. The ease of reading overshadows the complexity of the natural sounds and intonations of the English language. It's as if you were eating fast food every day. It's practical, fast, and tasty, but it doesn't really nourish you. In English, the subtitle is this fast food that prevents you from savoring the nutrients of the language, the sounds, the rhythms, the melodies.
And the worst thing is that you end up falling into the illusion that you are developing your listening. You feel happy because you can follow the story, understand some phrases, but the truth is that your progress boils down to improving your reading. Your listening remains passive without really developing. It's like a car that runs with the handbrake on. It even moves, but it can't reach its maximum speed. The practice with subtitles creates a false sense of understanding, which prevents you from really advancing in the oral comprehension of English. You feel comfortable in your comfort zone, but you don't challenge yourself to leave it. And then, when you come across real English, the one spoken without subtitles, you feel lost, as if you were on another planet. This realization leads us to think about the importance of a more attractive, more challenging auditory stimulus, which forces you to leave your comfort zone and concentrate on the audio. Let's find out how the brain chooses this path for ease, compromising your learning. And believe me, the solution is not as complicated as it seems.
Brain chooses to read. Moving forward, let's understand why your brain prefers reading so much. The answer is simple: energy saving. By dividing the attention between the audio and the subtitle, your brain always opts for reading, which is more direct, clear, and easy to assimilate. The written text offers immediate answers, while the audio requires a greater effort of interpretation. This natural choice is a defense against the complexity of spoken dialogues. Reading offers a shortcut, a way to avoid the hard work of deciphering the sounds, the intonations, the accents. It's as if you were running away from a marathon and taking a shortcut by car. You reach the end faster, but you lose the opportunity to strengthen your muscles and overcome your limits. The cognitive mechanism prioritizes the most accessible information, relegating the essence of the oral language to a second plane. And then your learning potential is limited. You get used to depending on the subtitle and lose the ability to capture the nuances of the spoken language. It's like a musician who only reads sheet music and never allows themselves to improvise. He may even play the notes correctly, but he can't express his creativity and emotion. The dependence on reading reduces your ability to capture accents and pronunciation variations. You get used to a standardized form of English and feel lost when you hear a different accent. This reveals how much auditory training is neglected in these situations. It's like a chef who only uses processed ingredients and never experiences the fresh and authentic flavors of natural products. Understanding this dynamic is crucial to adjust your study strategies. From this, you will know exactly why improving your listening goes through practice without visual distractions. Breading, not listening. Friend, check this out. The great thing about using movies with subtitles, in the end, is that you'll become an expert in reading in English. But what about listening? That poor thing stays there in the corner without being invited to the party. The real deal is that being good at reading doesn't make you a master of listening, you know? It's like knowing the cake recipe but never having turned on the oven. You may even understand everything written, but when you hear someone speaking fast with slang and accent, things change. And look how crazy! When you're glued to the text, you lose the chance to catch those nuances of the sound, you know? Every little detail of the pronunciation, the intonation that changes everything, turns to dust. Then we fall into a trap. We think we're learning, but we're just fooling ourselves. But relax. The first step to get out of this is to open your eyes and see that there's something wrong, right? So, let's rethink this study routine and focus on what really matters. Total immersion in the world of sounds. Believe me, your ear will thank you. Listening without subs. When you get rid of the text, you force your brain to pay attention to every sound that comes out of the natives' mouths. Without this visual handout, there's nowhere to run. It's you, the audio, and the mission of deciphering every word. This game change requires extra effort, it's true.
Without the subtitles to guide you, each word, each intonation gains enormous weight. But by diving head first into the audio, you start to pick up those details that the text never shows. The slang, the accents, the pauses. It's like discovering a new world within the English language. I know this change may be a little scary at first, but trust me, this total immersion experience is what will prepare you to face any challenge in the real world. It's like an intensive training for life. So take a deep breath, relax, and dive headfirst into this new sound adventure.
Real auditory challenge. Look, the truth is that in the beginning, watching without subtitles can be a struggle. But calm down. This difficulty is a good sign. It means you're getting out of your comfort zone and challenging your brain to really work. It may be that suddenly you feel that you're not understanding anything, that the film has become Greek. Relax, that's normal. It's like when we start exercising. In the beginning, we feel all sore, but then the body gets used to it and gets stronger. This feeling of confusion is part of the process, you know? It's as if your ear were learning to decode a new language. Face these moments as an intensive training for your listening. Now, check this out. The secret is not to give up. I know that sometimes you feel like throwing everything up in the air and going back to the subtitles, but resist. Overcoming boredom and frustration is fundamental to developing a real auditory understanding. It's like learning to skateboard. You'll fall a few times, but one day you'll master the thing. And speaking of overcoming challenges, tell me here in the comments, what was the biggest difficulty you've ever faced when trying to understand English? Share your experience with us. Who knows, your story might help other people to persist in learning. In the end, these difficulties serve for us to separate the wheat from the chaff, you know? For us to understand that fun is one thing and serious training is another. That's why it's so important to structure your study moments and focus on what really matters.
Pleasure and practice. It's super important to separate the moment of relaxing and having fun from the moment of studying and training your listening. Watching movies and series in English to have a few laughs on the weekend is wonderful, but you can't think that this will turn you into an expert in auditory comprehension, you know? For everything, it's time and its place. Mixing the seasons can give you a false sense of progress and end up frustrating you. It's like trying to do two things at the same time. In the end, you don't do either right. When training listening, the focus has to be total. Turn off the cell phone, close the door, forget the world, and dive head first into the audio. When you understand this dynamic, your evolution becomes much more consistent. So let's organize your studies and focus on what really matters: total immersion in the world of sounds. Always listen actively. And to close with a golden key, the final tip: practice active listening whenever you can. Listening actively means throwing yourself, body and soul, into the audio, without distractions, without subtitles, without anything. This total immersion helps you to capture the intonations, the accents, the nuances of the English language. I know it's not always easy, that sometimes we feel kind of lost in the middle of so much information. But don't give up. Persistence is the key to success. Remember, constant practice leads you to perfection. It's like a river that is carving its bed until it reaches the sea. So keep listening, keep practicing, keep challenging yourself. And soon you'll be mastering English like a native. Believe in yourself. Conclusion. Hey everyone, did you manage to catch all the tips? I hope so, because now it's time to put everything into practice and say goodbye to subtitles. Remember, the secret is to focus on the audio, train your ear, and have fun in the process. And as usual, let's test your listening and comprehension skills. Ready? Today's secret phrase is: without subtitles, my ear unlocks and fluency.
So, what did you understand? Complete the phrase creatively in the comments. I want to see your imagination flying high. Oh, and don't forget to leave that smart like on the video if you enjoyed the tips. And if you're not yet part of our class, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any English secrets. After all, here at Learn English Secrets, we unravel the mysteries of the English language and show you the path to fluency. Remember, with Learn English Secrets, the secret to your English is closer than you think. Continue practicing and exploring the Learn English Secrets by watching this video or checking out this playlist right here. See you in the next video.